Hi guys! So ever since I've uploaded my basic skiing course video, I've been getting a lot of questions about it. So in this video, I will be giving you all the possible information about doing a basic skiing course. Right from the various institutes that you can go to, how to apply, when do the bookings open. And if you've already gotten your seat, then I'll be giving you detailed information about each institute, like how to reach there, the network conditions there, the daily schedule, and a lot more. I get asked very often that can you work from home during this course, or how do I ski if I have glasses? I have answered all of these questions in this video. I've also divided this video into sections, so if you have some really specific questions, you can directly skip to that part of the video. I've also added the timestamps in the description, so let's jump right into it.
Basic Skiing Course is a 14-day long certified beginner skiing course conducted by government recognized institutes all over India. The most popular ones are JIM, IISM and ABVIMAS, followed by PNSMTI and NIM. At the end of the course, they take a practical exam based on which you get a certificate along with a grade. These institutes also offer higher levels of skiing courses so that you can pursue skiing further after you complete the basic course. Whether you get an A grade or a B grade in the basic course, you are eligible to do the next level, which is the intermediate skiing course. For higher level courses, government recognized institutes only accept trainees with a certificate from another government recognized institute. They do not accept trainees holding a certificate from a private institute. So let's say you've done basic from IISM. Now you can easily shift between any of the government recognized institutes. So if you want, you can do your intermediate from ABVIMAS, your advanced from JIM, and so on. The skiing season typically starts late December and goes on till March. But try to avoid December and March because by December, usually there hasn't been enough snowfall to form a good layer of snow on the slopes. March, on the other hand, is when the temperatures start to rise again and the snow tends to get slushy, especially during the day. Jan and Feb are the peak winter months. By this time, there's a nice thick layer of snow with plenty of snowfall. And if you want an even more specific suggestion, try going between 15th Jan and 15th Feb. That is when the snow conditions are considered to be at their very best.
When it comes to location, Gulmarg is hands down the best skiing destination in India because of the snow conditions, beaded slopes, as well as skiing facilities. The other two options being Oli and Manali. Although it matters more which institute you get a seat in, but especially if you're planning to ski on your own after your course, then it gets a lot easier to do that in Gulmarg because of the overall skiing infrastructure and easy availability of skiing equipment. So if you're an IISM or JIM, then you can easily ski on your own in Gulmarg. By the way, I would highly recommend that you keep a day or two for skiing after the course because that's where the real fun begins and you get to apply the new skiing skills that you have learned.
There's no eligibility criteria. You do not require any prior experience to register. In fact, it is meant for beginners. I too had never tried skiing before I went for my basic skiing course. Although the age limit specified is usually 10 to 45 years, but sometimes skiing institutes do make exceptions. I've often seen 6-year-olds as well as 60-year-olds doing the course. Also, kids are surprisingly good at skiing. They actually learn much faster than adults, so don't hesitate to enroll them for the course.
Though all the three institutes are renowned and amazing, IISM is still the most sought after and popular institute when it comes to skiing. Because IISM is primarily a skiing institute, whereas ABVIMAS and JIM are mountaineering institutes that also offer skiing courses. You should know that I've done my basic course from ABVIMAS and my intermediate from IISM. So I'll be giving you first-hand information about these two institutes, but I've never really been to JIM. Also, all this while, JIM used to conduct their courses in Gulmarg and they have only last year started doing it in Sonmarg. So since they've changed their location recently, their setup is changing constantly and it has been different for different batches. So the information on JIM is not that concrete, but I'll tell you as much as I know.
In case of IISM, the course is conducted in Gulmarg and you'll be staying in the main campus of the institute itself. The main training slope for the basic course is just a 5 minutes walk from the campus. For ABVIMAS, the course is actually conducted at Solang, so during the entire course, you'll be staying at their Solang campus. The training slope for the basic course is right inside the campus itself, so that is very convenient. This is the current fee structure of these institutes. Every time there's snowfall, the slope needs to be beaten. Basically, the fresh powder snow needs to be flattened so that the skiing training can happen properly. IISM has its own beaters to groom the slope after snowfall, but at ABVIMAS, the trainees need to beat the slope themselves, and this can be quite the task. When it comes to campus and facilities, IISM has the best campus as compared to the other institutes. It's relatively new and modern. The whole campus is centrally heated with running hot water in the taps in the morning and in the evenings. The Solang campus of ABVIMAS, on the other hand, is relatively simpler and older. The basic facilities are in place, like they have a Bukhari in each room and in the mess as well, which is lit at night for warmth. Hot water is provided in the evenings, but you have to carry it up to your room in a bucket whenever you need it. In case of gym, they usually tie up with local huts or hotels, and that is where the trainees stay during the course. The facilities provided are usually pretty good and a lot more than basic. The food provided is home style and is more or less similar in all the institutes. At all the institutes, there are usually 8 to 10 trainees per instructor, and the instructors and training quality provided is good at all the institutes. At ABVIMAS, there's a compulsory morning workout which is not there at IISM and gym. The schedule at IISM is a little more relaxing overall. Also, I found that IISM was very strict in general, especially regarding girls and boys hanging out together in common areas. At ABVIMAS, on the other hand, we were allowed to hang around every day in the mess, and they also gave permission to go out of the campus often, especially on snowfall days. But at IISM, it is strictly not allowed to go out of the institute. And another thing that might be very important to some of you is that IISM, you are strictly not allowed to record during skiing training. Except for the last 2 days, you can shoot how much ever you like, but for the rest of the time, no GoPros, no phones, no pictures. And if you are seen using your phone during training or even if it's during the conference, they straight away confiscate your phone, no questions asked. And I have seen this happening. At gym and IISM, along with your basic exam, there's also a slalom competition held, and there are prizes or positions given in various categories to recognize good performance. But at ABVIMAS, there's only a normal exam with no prizes or positions. Since these courses are heavily subsidized and the demand for them is really high, the seats get full really quickly. To put things in perspective for you, gym gets full as early as June or July, that is 6 months before the skiing season even begins. And IISM gets full just within 3 days from the time the bookings open. So if you really want that seat, you can't sit around and wait till the last moment. You have to book it as early as possible. And that way you can even select the batch of your choice. Because the batches with the best snow conditions get full first. And if you book late, you are left with no choice but to go for the batches towards the end, which may not have the best snow conditions. I'm going to take you through the application process for each institute. For gym, you can actually book as early as a year in advance because they open their skiing registrations along with their mountaineering registrations, which happens a lot earlier. First, go to their website and check their training schedule and the availability of seats. Once you have selected your batch and dates, download and fill the application form, pay the fees online, and courier the application form to them along with the payment receipt. For ABVIMAS, the bookings open around September or October and get full by November. When the booking time comes close, you can call or email them to know exactly when the bookings will open. In my experience, I found ABVIMAS to be very responsive on mail. Go to the Apply Online tab, select the course of your choice depending on the dates and the availability of seats, fill in all the details and upload the required documents, follow the instructions on screen step by step, and you will be guided to the payments page. Soon you will get a confirmation mail or an SMS. It may take up to 5 to 7 days. ABVIMAS has also uploaded a detailed video tutorial for the application process, and I will leave a link for you in the description. For IISM, the bookings generally open in the first week of November, but the application process is by far the most complicated and stressful. For the longest time, IISM has had offline admissions over the phone and payments via demand draft. But for the first time in 2022, they had online admissions. The batch dates were shown on their website in advance, but the online registration dates as shown on their website were getting postponed continuously. The online admission process was also glitchy. The application process may be chaotic as of now, but that is because it's only recently shifting online. It's still evolving and changing. I'm sure it'll be much better next year, but till the time it develops fully, the only thing you can do is stay in constant touch with the management, call them often for updates, and keep checking their website. There are too many people trying to get a seat, so you will often get their phone busy, but keep trying. I too have spent hours trying their number repeatedly, but you do get through eventually. IISM is the most sought after institute when it comes to skiing. This time the bookings opened at 11 am and it was totally booked out by 11:08 am. This is why you have to keep a very close check on exactly when the bookings are opening, because if you miss that tiny window, you won't be able to get your seat. Coming to the application process, decide your batch dates in advance and keep your documents ready because there will be no time for this once the bookings open. Go to the online admission tab, enter your phone number for verification, fill in all your details, make the payment and upload the necessary documents.
Now coming to the question that I get asked all the time. If all the institutes are full, you can request them to put you on the wait list in case there are any cancellations. Now the chances of getting a seat are less, but you have to keep following up for this to work. But if it doesn't work out, I would suggest don't sit and wait for another year. You can always still ski with a private instructor in the meanwhile. If you want more information about skiing privately in India, then I've made a different video giving in-depth information about that. You can check it out if you like.
If there's place in the next batch, they might allow you to do 2 levels back to back, but you can't really pre-plan this. It's only something you can figure out once you're doing the course.
But you should probably know that a lot of my friends did this and they told me that they actually kind of regretted it because it got too tiring to do 2 skiing courses back to back.
You can't directly do an intermediate or advanced course even if you know all the techniques required to qualify for it. You need a basic course certificate to be eligible for the next level, no matter how good you are at skiing. I've even seen some really pro skiers go back and do a basic course just for certificate requirements. To reach Gulmarg from Srinagar, you can either take a shared cab or a private cab. You'll have to change your cab at Tungmarg because in winters, the road from Tungmarg to Gulmarg is usually covered in snow and mostly heavier vehicles operate on that route. Also, the route from Tungmarg to Gulmarg often has really long traffic jams. Although the distance is short, sometimes it can take hours to cross that patch. So keep some buffer time for this patch and try to leave early if possible. From Tungmarg, a private cab will drop you directly at IISM, but a shared cab will drop you in the Gulmarg main market. From there, you can either take another private cab to IISM, but they do charge a lot, so you can even walk it up, especially if you don't have too much luggage. The route is a bit long, but it's very beautiful, so you'll actually enjoy your walk. You are expected to arrive on the first day of the course itself and not one day prior. And nothing really happens on the first day, so even if you arrive a little later in the afternoon, it's fine. And although it says departure on the 14th day, you'll be allowed to leave on the 13th day as well. Prepaid SIM cards of other states will not work, only postpaid SIMs work. But you can easily buy a local prepaid SIM if you want. There are many shops in Gulmarg for this. It'll cost you roughly about 500 rupees and you'll have to show your Aadhaar card, license or voter ID. The strongest network here is Airtel, followed by BSNL, and Jio is a little weak. This is what the daily schedule and average temperature is like. They organize a market visit one day in case you need to buy something. There's also a small shop inside IISM where you can buy basic skiing gear like gloves, goggles and stuff, and you also get really good skiing trousers there. The course is conducted in Solang, but first you are required to report at the Manali campus. Although the closest airport is in Kullu, most people prefer travelling to Manali via Chandigarh or Delhi. The most convenient and affordable option is to take an overnight Volvo bus, but you can also take a private cab if you want, which will drop you directly at the gate of the institute. The bus will drop you at the Manali bus stand, from where you can easily take an auto till the institute. You are supposed to report on the first day of the course, but you can even reach a day before. They allow you to stay on the campus one night before. If you're reaching on the first day, try reaching latest by 12ish, because during some courses, they move all the trainees to the Solang campus on the first day itself, and sometimes they take you on the next day. The transport to and from Solang is arranged by the institute itself, but you have to pay about 150 to 200 per person for one side. Before leaving for Solang, they let you deposit your excess luggage at the Manali campus and you only carry what you need up to Solang. Dispersal is on the 14th day around lunch, but if you want, you can stay another night in the campus and leave on the next day. In Solang, Airtel and Jio work well, but for Vodafone, there's no internet, just calling. The plug points at ABVIMAS are very few, so you might want to carry a power bank. This is what the daily schedule and average temperature is like. They also give you some time to visit the market in case you need to buy something.
Can you work from home along with the course? The short answer is no. This is the timetable of the course, and like you can see, your entire day is packed with strenuous physical activity, and you generally only get 2 to 3 hours of free time. If you can manage your work within 2 to 3 hours, then I guess you can go for it, but keep in mind that you will be extremely tired during that time, and everyone around you will be having so much fun and chilling that you will not feel like working even if you do find some time. Also, you will have to solely rely on mobile data for your work and make sure you have the right SIM, keeping in mind the network restrictions I have already spoken about earlier for Kashmir as well as Manali. When I was going for the first time, I was worried because I tend to feel cold very easily and I didn't know how am I going to survive in minus 10 degrees, that too for 2 weeks. So if you're worried too, let me tell you, the cold is not unbearable. During the day, you'll be skiing most of the time, and while skiing, your body is warm and active, so you don't really feel cold. And at the night, they put on the heaters or light the bukharis, and that makes it pretty warm.
For sleeping, they provide you with 2 extremely thick blankets at IISM, and at ABVIMAS they give you a super warm sleeping bag as well, so you'll be pretty comfortable throughout the night. Now, in addition to all of these arrangements, you must carry the right clothes to keep yourselves warm and dry, which brings me to how to pack for a skiing course. Here is the list of things to carry as mentioned by each institute on their respective websites. I'm going to discuss it in detail, starting with what you'll be wearing while skiing. Now, when choosing your clothes, remember that the secret to staying warm is layering up. Instead of wearing just one thick jacket, wear multiple layers. Layers provide insulation, and this technique works like magic to keep you warm. So starting with the base layer, because while skiing you'll be exerting yourself, so in spite of the cold you'll be sweating a lot. So you need something that is breathable, water resistant, and something that dries quickly. The skiing base layers available at Decathlon are great for this, or you can even wear dry fit sports t-shirts that are full sleeves. For your middle layer, you have multiple options. Be careful not to overdo your middle layer because while skiing you tend to feel hot and stuffy. In fact, some people feel so hot while skiing that sometimes they skip the middle layer altogether. You can choose whether you want to wear a heavy or light middle layer depending on the weather on that particular day, your personal tendency to feel cold, and the thickness of your outer layer. You'll be falling down in the snow a lot as a beginner, so your outer layer needs to be waterproof so that you remain dry. A skiing jacket or snow jacket would be ideal, and since these are pretty warm, with this you can keep your middle layer light. If you are going to ABVIMAS or gym, they provide you with a waterproof suit that is both an upper and a lower. But it's just an outer waterproof shell, it's not warm. So with that, you will have to wear a heavier middle layer to keep yourself warm. IISM on the other hand does not provide any clothing, so you'll have to carry your own waterproof layer. If you already have a down jacket and you're considering wearing that, then although it will work, but you should know that they are water repellent and not waterproof. So on a clear day and in light snowfall, you'll be fine, but it'll start to get wet on days with heavy snowfall. For your lower body, you get trousers that are specially designed for skiing. These are waterproof on the outside and warm on the inside. These are skiing trousers, they're from Decathlon. And the best part is these skiing trousers are broad at the bottom and they have this inner covering that goes right over your ski boots and prevents the snow from getting in. If you don't want to get special skiing trousers, then you can wear any other water repellent trousers that you may have, like a quick dry trekking trouser. Since your lower body does not feel that cold as compared to your upper body, so if you want you can skip the base layer, especially in case of skiing trousers because they are warm enough already. But with other regular trousers, they might not be that warm, so you might need to wear a base layer under it. I'll tell you what I wear when I go skiing. So there are the ski trousers and there's no thermals, nothing inside that. This is a ski base layer. So it has like a little bit of fleece inside it. This is again from Decathlon. And on top of that, I just wear a ski jacket, okay, which is again very warm and waterproof. This is all I wear while skiing because I tend to feel very hot while skiing. But if you feel that you want something a little warmer, so maybe you can add a layer or two. Maybe you can wear something under the trousers and you can probably wear something on top of this. As you ski for 1 or 2 days, you will realize what combination of layers is working the best for you because it's different for different people. Although these options are ideal and more suitable for skiing, it may feel like too much to buy in one go, especially if you're not sure whether you'll use it in the future or not. So even if you stick to the cheaper alternatives, you'll be just fine. Even when I was going skiing for the first time, I also mostly worked with what I had at home already, and I bought the proper clothes at a much later stage. But if you do end up buying new clothes for skiing, don't shy away from buying bright colors. Go for those bright yellows, greens and reds. These colors really stand out in the white snow and your pictures will turn out amazing. For the time that you are not skiing, you will mostly be indoors and there will be heating in the institutes, so it won't be that cold. You can again follow the layering technique and add or remove layers based on your personal preference. By the way, ABVIMAS also gives you a down jacket if you ask for it specifically. If you plan to wash your clothes often, then you can carry fewer quantities. But I would suggest that just carry extra clothes instead, because after a long hard day of skiing, you will rarely have the energy to wash clothes. You would rather spend that time having fun with your new friends. Plus, drying clothes in that cold weather is another pain altogether. Moving on to socks, a really small item that can make or break your skiing trip. As a beginner, it may sound like a good idea to wear those typical thick socks or to wear 2 pairs of socks thinking it'll keep your feet warm and dry. But no matter how cold it is outside, your feet will sweat a lot while skiing, and doing this will only make your feet sweat more, making it prone to blisters. And trust me, even one blister can be really painful while skiing and it can ruin your fun on the slopes. You need socks that are thin and breathable. Ideally, go for socks that are made of synthetic materials or merino wool. The skiing socks in Decathlon are of this material. You can even wear synthetic hiking socks. You could wear your regular cotton socks if you want. They are not that breathable, but it's still a better option than wearing those extra thick socks. Whichever socks you go for, make sure they are long enough to cover your entire shin. Basically, they should come slightly above your skiing boots. Because when you're skiing, there's constant pressure on your shin. Wearing full socks will protect your shin from the inside of the skiing boots. Also, socks tend to stink after a long day of skiing, and wearing the same sweaty and dirty socks repeatedly can again increase the chances of blisters. While washing them is always an option, try carrying as many extra pairs as you can.
Another thing you can do is switch between pairs of socks, letting one air out while you use the other. You can also carry this powder that I keep with me on all trekking and skiing trips to keep my feet dry and free of infections. You will also need warm woolen socks for the night when you are not skiing. Definitely carry a good pair of waterproof gloves because that is something you'll be using every day.
Carry a normal as well as a woolen cap to wear while skiing, depending on the weather that day. And here's a bonus tip for you. For your main luggage, don't carry a suitcase because it's inconvenient to drag it in the snow. Carry a backpack instead.
When you are skiing, you'll be wearing the boots provided by the institute. But for the rest of the time, instead of normal sneakers, carry trekking shoes. They are water repellent, so they'll keep your feet dry and give you a good grip while walking in the snow. This is what you'll be wearing inside the institute as well, because slippers are strictly not allowed outside your room. Definitely carry slippers for easy wearing inside your room. And since you'll probably be wearing socks all the time, consider carrying slides instead of flip-flops.
Carry water in an insulated bottle, because in a normal bottle, your water will get ice cold in no time and you will not feel like drinking more than a sip or two. A lot of people think that you don't need sunscreen because you're going to a cold place, but you'll be surprised at how much sun exposure you get in the mountains. Even after applying sunscreen, you're gonna get crazy tanned either way, but still you must carry a good sunscreen with a high SPF to protect yourself from the harmful UV rays, which are much stronger at the higher altitudes. And especially since you'll be skiing all day, you'll be exposed to the sun for a very long duration. So you must apply it twice, before the morning as well as the afternoon skiing session. This time when I was in Gulmarg, I saw a lot of skiers and instructors applying this one particular sunscreen. And apparently they say that it's the only one that works. So if you want, you can try it out. You'll probably find it online. And don't forget to carry lip balm. Your lips tend to get pretty dry in the cold. Sunglasses. Another really important item that you absolutely cannot skip. Because the snow reflects a lot of light and it gets too bright to see. Go for curve-shaped ones, something with full coverage to protect your eyes, and make sure they are UV protected as well as polarized. All these features will be mentioned on the information label. You don't really need to buy those proper skiing goggles, especially as a beginner. They are pretty expensive and their use is limited only to skiing. So you'll be just fine with a good pair of sunglasses. If you have prescription glasses, then your best solution is to wear contact lenses and wear normal sunglasses over them. If you find lenses uncomfortable, then you can get prescription sunglasses made specially, but I think it'll be hard to find full coverage UV protected sunglasses that can also be customized. And they'll probably be expensive as well. And if you're thinking of wearing just your normal glasses while skiing, then let me tell you that's a bad idea because it's genuinely too bright to see on the slopes. So you're gonna need sunglasses. Now, obviously, most of these items can be easily found at Decathlon, but in case you forget something or if you just want some change, then you get really amazing stuff in these local markets. That is the Tangmarg and Gulmarg market and the Manali main market. You get a lot of variety, especially when it comes to skiing trousers, gloves, goggles and stuff, and that too at a cheaper rate.
Skiing continuously for 14 days at a stretch can be physically challenging. You'll be climbing up the slope while wearing your heavy ski boots and while carrying your heavy skis on your shoulders. And you will be doing this at least 10 times a day for 14 days. If you are not physically prepared for this, it will be a sudden strain on your body and you will experience a lot of body pain and sore muscles in the initial few days. And you don't really want to miss your skiing sessions because of this. You should also know that ABVIMAS has a rule. If you miss more than 2 days of training due to any personal reasons, you straight away get a B grade. But either way, if you're fit, you'll be able to learn skiing a lot faster and be much better at it. Not only will you have more fun on the slopes, but you will be able to climb the slope faster after each turn. And that way you'll be able to get more rounds of skiing each day, giving you a lot more practice overall. Here are some exercises you can do to make sure that you are physically prepared for this course. You want to focus more on leg strength because while skiing, most of the pressure is on your thighs followed by your glutes and calves. Strong legs will help with turns and balance, and a strong core will help as well. Having good flexibility will help you prevent muscle pulls, which are very common among beginner skiers, especially while learning snowplow. That's all from my side. Go fall down a lot. I hope you have loads of fun and you make amazing new friends. And don't forget to apply that sunscreen. If all of this information has helped you, give me a thumbs up. And for more adventure and travel related content, consider subscribing to my channel and I'll see you soon.